everybody. I'm Dan Vega.
And I'm Angel Palace, and welcome to the Spanglish Business Show.
Man, it's good to be back on set, my man.
How's everything going, man?
It's going good. I haven't been here for a while.
I know, man.
I feel like that we, what do we have? It's been a couple of weeks since we've been in the studio.
It's been a little while.
How's things with the family? You been productive?
Oh, everything's been very productive. Yeah, I got some business projects going on.
Nice, man.
Yeah, so we're working something out. Some
very
stuff
good.
out, yeah.
So
making some new connections. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, I've been busier than what's the saying? Busier than a one-hour wallpaper hanger.
Really?
But I guess busy's good. I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah. Well, it's good to see you again. And I know last show we talked about the red carpet that you were invited to. So I would like to know what happened because
it was cool, man.
Yeah,
we went down.
Tell us.
It was good. We flew down to Hollywood, and a friend of mine was actually. He's a successful actor producer, but he's the lead in this new movie, and this is kind of his bigger producing debut.
Amazing.
So
Nice.
he got a distribution deal for his film, and they threw a red carpet event. And I flew myself and my assistant Bobby and another guy with us.
Awesome.
Down to California.
So you guys had a good time?
It was really cool, man. The event was, there's a lot of events where they'll say it's a red carpet event, but basically they'll just rent out the movie theater. Mm-hmm. And, there's hundreds of people there. They just buy the theater.
That's right.
But actually, believe it or not, a real red carpet event is quite small. It's usually just 50 to 100 people. Oh, wow. And it's a private showing of the movie, and they have the cast and crew.
Nice.
And then, believe it or not, they have a lot of critics there to do a write-up on the movie before the film comes out, right? Wow. And so it was intimate, but it was really cool. I got to meet several other actors and writers and
any name drops?
I don't want to name drop, but it was cute.
Well, imagine it's a red carpet event,
there was a lot of people there.
That's good.
Well, then afterwards, we went down to this little restaurant in Hollywood, this super cool hip place, and so it was, all these actors and writers just pile into this restaurant, and everybody's like, ugh. And we just sat there and kind of hung out, had some drinks. So it was a really fun time.
Now, when you say hip, what do you mean by hip?
This place was kind of like something that you would see like Whiskey A Go-Go back in the 60s, and something that you would see out of like Casino, or Goodfellas, something like that. It was just a swanky little kind of an Irish or Italian vibe, but it also was very loud and kind of a music scene.
Nice.
It was funky, and it was a really cool time. That was actually during Super Bowl. So the next night, we went to Super Bowl in this little Irish pub, and you would have thought we were sitting in Philadelphia because the place was all Philly.
So it was like tailgaters everywhere.
It was nuts.
Nice.
And I hung out with some great people, and I have to tell you this quick story. So before we leave LA, my guys that I brought, especially we have an intern that's working with us, and the guy's in his 40s actually, and the military is paying him to do an internship with us.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah, and so he's never really been to California or anything, and so his first time to California, he's right at this red carpet event and thrown into this thing, meeting all these cool people. So the last night that we're there, I've been eating vegan for the last 3 or 4 months.
We heard about it.
Yeah, so I said, there's a place in LA that it's like an ice cream shop that's all vegan. They have like vegan milkshakes, and if you eat plant-based, you don't get that stuff very often.
Do they have like vegan refried beans?
Nah, man, they have like vegan milkshakes. Okay, all right. Now I did find vegan refried beans all over in California.
Really?
So anyways, I tell Bobby, I say, listen, we have to go to this place down in Hollywood. I don't care how far the drive is. I'm not leaving this city until I have my milkshake.
Nice.
So we're sitting in there, and there's a few of us, and my assistant Bobby looks over, and he's like, that guy at the next table is a pretty famous actor, right? So he's Googling stuff. I don't know what he's really doing. And
like on the minute, like, let me see.
The guy that was at the table next to us, he's from those two shows. I don't watch either of the show, but there's a show called Orange is the New Black.
I heard about it.
And also How to Get Away with Murder. And so my assistant's like, these are two of my favorite shows, and he's in both of them.
Wow.
So when I looked over, I could see that he recognized me, and he knew we were talking. So it looked like he was kind of on like a first or second date with someone, right? She was, not terrible. And it looked like they were like a new date. So
Cool.
I think he was thinking, please come over and say something because help me out here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
So when they were getting ready to leave, I said, hey, man. I said, you're the guy from that show? He's like, yeah. And so I said, hey, my guy here, I think he probably thought Bobby was my son. I said, my kid here is like a huge fan of your shows. Is it okay if we get pictures? So he was very gracious. Bobby took pictures. The other intern was with us, took pictures. Well, then there's this whole line of girls in line getting ice cream. They're like, us too. So we started this whole deal in this restaurant. And the girl walks over, and so I purposely said, I'm sorry about this, causing this big stir. She's like, it's okay. I guess it's something I'll probably have to get used to if we're dating. I said, probably. He's loving this, you know?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And so, and then after the whole deal, she's like, I'm happy as long as I got my vegan ice cream. And so he leaves and he's going out the door and he looks at me like, Thanks, man. It's still the same old game, right?
Yeah. You know
so we wanted to help a brother out.
That's good, man.
You know that guy. She
sure.
got in the car thinking, man, I'm quite fortunate to be dating this guy.
I'm pretty sure it was a good night for them both.
Exactly. And you know when they got in the car, it was like, so does that happen quite often? Pretty much every day. So we leave there, we go back to we were staying with my sister, and he tells me, he's like, dude, is Hollywood always like this? And obviously it wasn't, but we're happen to be red carpet. We meet this guy. It's all, it's like, pretty much always like this.
You guys were having a good time.
Yeah,
so.
it was funny.
Good, man. That's part of the adventure. You know, that's good. That's awesome. I'm glad you guys like it.
It was fun, man. It was a quick trip, but it was fun.
Yeah. Do you hear about the new vegan McDonald's?
No, come on.
Yeah, man. It's going to be called Mac Vegan. But it's not going to be in the United States. It's going to be in Europe right now. It's in the test phase.
Mac Vegan.
Mac Vegan. I don't know what it has.
Are you messing with me?
No, I'm not messing with you. This is for reals, man. For reals. So they're going to have Mac Vegan. I think it's in Europe. You know, if you want to know more information, you can hit up the web.
Not particularly.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure I want to bring that out because I know you like to travel around the world. So maybe if you go to Europe, you know, and there's nothing else.
You make me sound so hip.
Mac Vegan.
I know you like to travel around the world. Dude, I hardly get out.
I mean, your brother hip. Hey, it's so hip. So you so hip.
You know, I've been to McDonald's in Germany and in France and a few other places, and it's not the same as the U.S.
Yeah.
Like, I have to say this one thing. I don't feel like Europe and even Africa or you know, these other places, they're not real dialed into a hamburger. You would think it would be a universal thing, but it's just not the same, man, at all.
I can do like the Irish. Can I get a Mac Vegan, please?
Dude, you are too much. Are these actually sideburns?
Yeah, they are sideburns, man. They're pretty cool sideburns. You know,
you never know what you're gonna get with you.
Well, you know, we were celebrating St. Patrick's Day, so I said, well, let me bring some for me. I brought you some too, you know.
Yeah, I see that.
Somewhere. The cool thing is that they match the microphone. So
I can't wear them, dude. I would look like a pimp.
I look like, man.
But, now, are you all Irish?
I'm not. I'm a little bit Irish.
Really? I'm a quarter Irish.
A little bit.
I think they call it.
I don't know. I gotta ask my mom.
Every time I come here, you bring all these props.
Yeah, man.
What are these?
These are
kind of like the risky. Oh my God! These are like the risky business.
No, man. Those are like the Blues Brothers. But you gotta have a hat. Do you have a hat for that?
Well, apparently I do. You have.
You do? Oh man, really? Oh man, that's so.
I can't do it, dude. I can't. It's not my thing.
Really?
Here, I got you, man.
Well, I got another one, man.
No, that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. So now we're the Blues Brothers.
Yeah. If they could see me now.
Deal. All right. Well, I'm gonna have to put my real glasses because I can barely see with this.
Yeah, that's because we're getting old.
We're getting old? Are we?
Yeah, we are.
I guess I'm gonna have to start on my vegan diet.
You know, vegan does do a lot of things, but
really,
I don't feel younger.
Why not?
So, dude, it just doesn't work that way.
Really?
You know, but there's some benefits that I'm going to tell you off camera.
Okay. Hey, I'm all ears. That'd be cool on here. Now, do you hear about the SpaceX? They shoot Elon Musk. You know, he used to have a.
Wait, start over. Did I hear about the
SpaceX? SpaceX is the rocket that go, you know, to the.
Are you saying SpaceX?
No, a SpaceX. I know my Spanish is messed up. That's why.
I thought you said.
I'm glad you corrected me.
SpaceX.
I'm glad you corrected
What in the world are you talking about? Are you saying SpaceX?
A SpaceX.
Okay. No, I have not heard about it.
Well, you know,
but now I want to.
Elon Musk is the owner of, you know,
Elon.
the rocket, the Tesla. So he shoot his own roadster, Tesla roadster, to space, man.
Yeah, I knew that he's...
So now the car has a dummy astronaut, and the car is just floating around. I guess headed to Mars.
I knew that he's looking at Mars, and they're doing a lot. He's definitely an innovator.
Yeah.
For sure.
They're doing colonization. That's what he wants to do and all that.
Okay.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
It's very interesting.
Yeah, man. And then talking about a little bit about business, because this show is about business, Latino business,
sometimes
business,
yeah.
minority business. Have you ever tried or seen those flaming Cheetos? You ever seen the flaming Cheetos? You never seen a flaming Cheeto? Do you know what a flaming Cheeto is?
You're talking about the Cheetos.
The Cheetos that you
chips.
eat. You know, they got the cheese Cheetos.
Yeah, got it.
You know, well, they got one called flaming hot Cheetos, or flaming hot, or hot flaming Cheeto.
So it's a gay chip.
It's flaming. No, it's not gay. It's pretty hip.
Spicy.
It's pretty cool. It's pretty hip, man.
Okay.
Well, anyways, the guy that invented it, he was actually a janitor. His name was Richard Montañez. And someday, some Cheetos were left over, according to the story, right? And he picked them up. He went home, put some chili on it, and then tried them. And they're like, man, these are good, man. You know, so he brought the idea to the company. And
so it's kind of like, no one's eating these chips. I'm going to take the leftovers home to mi familia.
Yeah.
And then it was like, bust out the salsa.
Yeah. So guess what?
Dude.
I got you some flaming hot Cheetos.
I dig, dude.
Yeah, for me.
I thought it was a fake story.
No, man, it's a real deal, man.
Okay.
I brought some for the producers, too.
Okay.
Of the show. So let's
oh, my God.
Yeah.
Let's try not to crunch these too much with the sound.
I got some more. See, I brought the whole store for everybody.
Dude, you are going chip crazy right now.
Yeah, I was got.
Okay.
Can I get one of these? They put it red, man. Look at that.
So, talking about business, let's talk about the guest tonight.
The guest, I got a surprise for you. Holy crap.
Good. I'm hoping you have a surprise because the way it normally works, most of the time we reach out to the guests and then you called me and you were like, dude, don't even worry about the guests. I got the guests lined up.
I know.
And I was a little bit worried. But I don't really know anything of what I'm walking into. So now I get a really good sense of how you generally feel.
Well, no need to worry about it because what we have tonight is a guest. He's been into martial arts for a pretty long time. In fact, since he was 9 years old. Mm-hmm. So pretty little. And he's been multiple times Florida state champion, about 3 times. He's been a Canadian Karate International Champion, Long Beach International Champion, Bluegrass National Champion, Empire State National Champion, Florida National Grand Champion.
In other words, a bad dude.
He's bad, man. He's
okay.
When we talk about the best of the best, this guy's the real deal. The best of
the best. Like the movie.
Like the movie, yeah. He's one of the best of the best. But we're going to ask him questions, and we're going to talk to him. And his name is Reggie Toussaint.
Okay, Reggie Toussaint.
Reggie Toussaint, yeah.
Got it, man.
And we're going to dial him up, call him up, and ask him some questions, and we'll go from there. How about that? Will
he be willing to set up like an exhibition bout between me and Reggie? Could we do that?
We can ask him.
No, I'm not sure I want to do that. But would you do that?
I'll do some practice first.
Okay, let's dial him in, man.
Let's dial him in. Let's see where he at. Let's see.
Flaming Cheetos. Not what I had in mind at all.
Yeah, man. It's pretty good. So we got some Flaming Cheetos with margaritas.
There's actually a little bit of kick.
Yeah. It tastes pretty good.
All right, here we go.
Here it is. Got the Cheeto at the wrong time.
To be a business segment.
Goodbye, USC ready.
Hey, Reggie, how you doing? It's Angel here and Dan Vega from the Spanglish Business Show. How you doing?
Good, sir. How are you?
How
are things going?
What's up, Reggie? This is Dan. Good to meet you.
How you doing, sir?
I'm doing fantastic, man. Angel,
awesome.
So we were just talking in our monologue, and basically Angel started rattling off this list of championship this, championship that. It was so long, I thought we would have to end the show. I basically just interrupted him and said, so in other words, this dude's a bad dude. And he said, yeah, that's it. That's right.
Let's get down to it.
And then he's been trying to talk me into, he's like, look, what I want to do is set up some kind of an exhibition bout between you and Reggie for charity. And I'm like, dude, hell no. Are you trying to get me killed, man?
Nah, that'll be fun.
I don't know, man.
An exhibition bout.
Oh, my gosh. I'm not sure.
Seriously. What we do is we rehearse everything. That way nobody gets hurt. You know exactly what's going on.
Just like in the movies.
Just like in the movies.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about how your journey got started. How did you get landed in this profession?
Well, you know what happened is when it first started, when I came to the United States, this was during the time when the Spaniards was migrating to the U.S. and there was a lot of animosity because everybody, all the American guys were afraid that the Spaniard guys were going to take their jobs because they're migrating and everything. And that wasn't it at all. We just wanted a better way of life. And when growing up as a kid, I always said, you know what? I always want to go to the U.S. I always want to go to the U.S. because there's so many opportunities, and people don't realize the kind of opportunities that they have in the U.S. So when I came here, I already had box, but I wanted something different. I wanted to, because I love to kick soccer. When you play soccer, you love to kick. So I figured, what would be the best thing instead of kicking a ball? You start kicking people.
Yeah, you're right.
Seems like a natural progression.
Yeah. It just went from there.
Nice. And so I know you mentioned boxing. As a Latino myself, growing up in Los Angeles, that's kind of the thing. You grow up in a tough neighborhood. I think when I was like 11 or 12, my dad's like, hey, man, we're going to go to the local boxing gym. You're going to learn how to box. That's a very common thing. But some of my friends were getting into like Kempo, things like that. So what was the first genre or discipline that you learned?
It's funny you say Kempo because what happened was, we're going back a long time. When I first started, I started at Nishi Goju-Ryu, which was, Yamaguchi was the one that actually started that. So then, we just started messing around with that. And then from Goju, I went to Taekwondo. And then from Taekwondo, I went to Kempo, like you just said, Chinese Kempo. Because Kempo dealt a lot with, the self-defense aspect of it. And being, half Latino and half French, a lot of people, when you come to the U.S., you don't really fit in. You get people trying to beat you up all the time. So I was like, you know what? I need to learn to do something. And that's why I got started in the first place.
Wow.
But you know what, though? The funny thing about it is, the more I learned about the arts, I found out that's not the reason I was really there.
Yeah.
Because as you start learning the art, you realize what you're capable of doing. And, nobody wants to hurt anybody.
Sure.
So then you start, it becomes a way of life for you, where you don't have to worry about trying to be Mr. Tough Guy. That's the last thing I wanted to do was fight because I knew what I could do to somebody.
Yeah, I know that Muhammad Ali used to say that when he started his career, it was because somebody stole his bike and he wanted to learn how to fight because of the bullies. But then after a while, it had nothing to do with even wanting to fight. It was just a matter of testing himself and seeing what he can endure and how high he could achieve and also being an inspiration to others. So,
it's funny you say Muhammad Ali because my idol was always Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Tell me one person that Bruce Lee wasn't their idol.
Yeah.
Because, he's the one that started the whole thing. Everybody's going around, hey, I'm Bruce Lee. Hi, what?
You're right.
But you know what, though? The thing is, the more you get involved into the art, sometimes people start it for the wrong reason. To try and be a bully or, try to be a tough guy. But then as you learn more and more what you're doing, you find out that's not it at all.
Sure.
It kind of humbles you, and that's one of the reasons I got involved so much with it. It's because it took me from being, a little punky kid, who liked to fight, to saying, you know what, nah, I don't like to fight.
Sure.
So your whole concept just completely changes.
So,
and I'm glad I kept at it.
Yeah, I know that. Do a lot of people know these different disciplines? Because, I've met a person, for instance, that was very high up in, say, Kempo, and then you meet a guy that's very, advanced in Taekwondo. But I don't know if it's very often that you meet somebody that's gone through multiple, types of styles of fighting or disciplines. And is that a real common thing for people to do?
Well, here's the thing. A lot of people, they say, oh, I do this, I do that. But, here's where I look at it. You can learn from anything any
Right.
discipline that you go after, you can learn. It all depends what the person is looking for.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people, what they do is they start out for one reason, and then the reason that they started out with changes.
Mm-hmm.
Because what happens is they realize, you know what, it wasn't all what I thought it was, you know, because when they realize the harm that they can actually cause to somebody,
Sure.
is not something they want to live with. Because
Yeah.
most people, you know, they have a heart, you know,
Yeah.
and sure, hey, you know, my girlfriend got beat up, so I want to learn to fight so I can beat up the other person. But then the more you get, the more proficient you get at it, you know, you say, you know what?
Not even
Maybe
about
I don't
that.
really want to do that.
That's right.
No.
So,
And let's say somebody
Mhm.
does kind of start there, right? So they're getting bullied. They want to learn something like this to, you know, beat up the bully, so to speak. But from what I've learned about some of these type disciplines, is there's a lot of different things that you learn, that a lot of principles that might even help you the other direction. Not just learn these skills, but even how to manage your anger better, how to deal with your problems better. Is that what you found?
You know what? It's funny you say that, because that is 100% correct. Because it's like, you know, say for example, you're the kid that gets beat up by a bunch of kids. So you want to learn how to defend yourself so you can beat them up. But then as you learn more and more, you realize, you know what? Maybe there's a reason why those kids picked on you. Maybe it's because your self-esteem wasn't there.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? So then as you become more and more assertive of yourself, your self-esteem becomes higher and you feel better about yourself, all those reasons, they just wash away.
Yeah. You can kind of tell a guy that can handle himself, you know, when somebody's really insecure and they carry themselves that, you know, a low self-image, you can tell, and like you said, that kind of probably promotes them being bullied. But when you walk around with confidence, and you know, people can kind of tell, yeah, I'm not sure about that guy, we might want to leave him alone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know,
That's
it's
right.
like people, you know, they like when they see a guy with glasses, you know, guy he looks like a little nerdy guy with glasses and everything. But yet there's something about that nerdy guy that you're like, you know what? I don't think I want to mess with that guy. Because
right.
you're not sure, because he might have glasses on, he might look nerdy, but the way he carries himself is so different that you're like, you know what? Nah, I think I'm just going to leave him alone.
Right. Something about this guy, not quite right. Yeah, I got you.
Well, I think the biggest thing about martial arts is it builds your self-esteem. And I think today that is the biggest problem in society today. A lot of these kids, they don't have the self-esteem because, you know, it's like number one, they're not getting it at home, you know, because people today, most kids live in a one-family home. You know, it's like mom's either working all the time, she's never home, or mom and dad is working, so the kid never really gets what a family environment is all about. So
That's
then
right.
they're there to fend for themselves.
That's right.
Yeah.
So
they need that quality time with their parents. That way they can, you know, the parent can teach them. See, nowadays it's all, these kids are behind a screen 24/7.
Well, not only that, but even the basics, like, you know, in my family, you talk back or you do something stupid, you get smacked.
Oh yeah, real
But
quick.
today, there's no spanking, there's no this, nothing.
But you know what though? The thing is, I tell you what, the Latin culture, and I'm not saying this to down any culture or any. It's just my experience. I was brought up in a Latin culture.
Yep.
Okay, Latin culture is you respect your mom, you respect your dad.
That's right.
Okay, you respect your elders. If they actually take out the garbage, you know what? You don't go, oh, I don't want to take it out. By the time you say that, you know, and I know that your teeth are on the floor.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So, no. You take out the garbage, yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. Wash the dishes, yes, ma'am.
You know,
there's none of this stuff.
You know, I learned the hard way with my abuelita when I was a little kid. Oh, she had this. You know, I don't. Are you familiar with the guava plant, right? The guava trees.
Of course.
Man, she went to the back of that because we had a farmhouse. So she went to the back of the house, and she took one of those branches. She took all the leaves out of the branches. And she hit me, my brother, my other brother. After that, we were saints.
They just got beat just for association.
We were saints after that. Oh yeah, I tell you what, I cried so hard you don't have a clue. My butt was red, my legs were red, but I was the same after that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Now remember when they should send you out to get your own switch that you're gonna get your butt beat with?
Yeah,
that's right.
And I'm like, all it took was just once.
Yep.
That's all it took.
You're right.
And
that's it.
I just think today the family values are not where they used to be.
You're right about that.
And I just think that there needs to be more of that. And through the martial arts, what we try to do is we try to instill that family value. And that is the one thing that has really kept myself focused, because if you don't appreciate your family, especially your mom, okay, who are you going to appreciate? If you don't have respect for your mom, who are you going to have respect for? Because mom is usually the one that makes you do your homework, cooks the food, cleans your house, washes your clothes. So if you're not going to have respect for her, you're in trouble.
Yeah, that's right. And not only help establish family values by what you're doing, but I bet that there's a lot of kids that they don't have those good parental roles. Maybe they come from a broken family like I did. So they're joining boxing, or they're joining karate or taekwondo or whatever that is, because they don't have anything else. They're looking for that family to adopt. And I bet you that's probably, you guys have probably filled some roles for those kids where you become like somewhat foster parents. You're now having that responsibility to teach them about values and how to create their own, value system. Mm-hmm.
But you know what the biggest problem is with that? A parent brings a kid in first to teach him the self-discipline, the respect. And when we try to instill it into that kid, guess who fights us?
The parents.
Exactly. Okay? Because it's like now we can get the kid to do certain things, but now the parent resents us, because the one thing that we found is you have to be consistent with these kids. You cannot say something one day and then go against it the next.
Sure.
If you tell a kid, look, I'm only going to tell you once. If I have to tell you a second time, you can get your butt beat.
Right.
If you don't follow up on that, what's going to happen the next time the kid gets out of line?
Oh yeah. That's why we thank you. We thank you for you are part of the community, and helping those kids and helping the families too.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I guarantee you, those kids, they go home too and tell their mom, "Hey, this is what I learned from Reggie. Let me show you how amazing this guy is. This is what I." Right. And even the parents can learn from the kids, because you are teaching them too. I mean, you're a role model, man. Every time I see you, man, and the kids, talk to you, and when I see you, how you talk to these kids, I mean.
Well, Mr. Angel, what I tell the parents here is this. I have like weekly meetings with the parents. I tell them, look, your kid is not the only one training. You're training also. You have to be involved in what they're doing, because if you're involved, then they're going to be receptive to what we're trying to teach them even more. Because now they see you're involved in what they're doing, and you want to know what they're doing. Because this way here, if you understand what your son is doing, you know what? That creates a family environment, because now it's something that you guys can do together.
Yeah, and it's something that you can get out of the house and really talk about and kind of, like you said, do together, as opposed to buying your kid another video game and throwing them on the couch and giving them a bag of chips, and you know what I'm saying? It's just completely.
I'm not. That's another story. I'm not even going to get into.
Well, listen, Reggie, we're going to take a real short break, but when we come back, I want to talk a little bit about, how you transition from this personal journey of learning all these disciplines and of course all the success you've had, to then transitioning into, hey, I want to do this for a business and help others learn what I've learned. So we're going to take a quick break. More with Reggie Toussaint when we get back. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Welcome everybody back to the Spanglish Business Show. We are talking here with Mr. Reggie Toussaint.
Toussaint. He said the T is silent. It's like a French thing.
Oh,
Toussaint.
It's French.
He's got that cool
You know, I got the Spanish and English accent.
Yeah.
But
there you go. The Spanglish accent.
That's right.
Spanglish, you know, we're all Spanglish here. All right. Well, I'm glad to have you back. Hey, Reggie, tell us what's your current karate rank, you know?
Actually, I just received my 8th degree black belt.
Wow.
Yes. After 10 years, my instructor decided, well, you know what? It's time for him to get promoted. So I had to go to rigorous training. And I got my butt beat that day. So everybody thinks, you know, just because you're a teacher, you don't get your butt beat. Oh, believe me, that's when it really gets tough.
Wow. Well, we wanted to congratulate you on your eighth dan. That's pretty good. That's
and how did you come about? You know, they say that obviously, I know you've had an immense career in martial arts. I guess that's kind of, we'll say martial arts. There's so many different things this guy's learned, But I know that, you know, the original journey was probably like, I want to take this out of necessity. And now you're kind of at that place where you're really helping people learn a set of core values. They're learning different principles that can help them not only learn these disciplines, but also that will help them, I'm sure, in their business and even personal life. They're taking away lifelong lessons. How did you, and you've even, I know that worked with NFL teams, is that right?
Yes, sir.
How did that come about?
Well, what happened was I used to have a school in Miami also, and I used to coach a junior Olympic karate team. And we commissioned a ship, the SS Latino Golf, and Joe Robbie happened to be there when we did that. And at the time, you know, there was Joe Robbie Stadium. And so this guy comes up to me and he's like, hey, you know, we want you to do a halftime show because we did a demo when we commissioned the ship. And I was like, yeah. So come to find out, this was Joe Robbie, the owner of the Dolphins.
Wow.
So he said, you know, every game, every home game that he wanted to do a demo. So I was like, wow. So from that, make a long story short, from that point, we started training Kimbo Camper, Dolphins, Bob Baumhauer, and all those guys from the Dolphins. And so, that started. Then I got Chris Carter from Minnesota Vikings, Keith Byers, and it was interesting.
Wow.
Very interesting.
I know Bob pretty well, Bob Baumhauer. He's a mountain of a man. His hands look like a baseball mitt.
You're not kidding. I read the first time that I had to stretch that man, his calf is like most people's thighs.
I'm telling you.
You need physical therapy in your hand after you shake him.
Yeah, he's a big dude. Wow. And so
that's an understatement. He's a big dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's pretty, and he's stout and he's strong.
Wow.
He was one of the, I think he was one of the Killer Bees back in the 70s.
I heard about the Killer Bees. Really?
Yeah.
Right.
That's a wrestler guy?
No, this is a Hall of Fame.
The Iron Curtain.
Yep.
Oh, the football.
Yep.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Miami Dolphins.
Yeah. I went behind on my sport history. I'm sorry.
So Reggie, let me ask you a question. How did you transition? You know, they say that if you love what you do, you don't work a day in your life. And certainly I can tell and just read the passion that you have for what you're doing. How did you kind of go from like, you know, the self-help journey of gaining all these skill sets and kind of going up and up and up to, man, I want to start my own thing. I want to start empowering people, because that's what you're really doing. You're empowering people and you're making such an impact in your community and probably well beyond that community. How did that kind of transition to move into the business side of it?
Well, you know, there's a gentleman that I used to train. His name was Les Goldberg. And this guy, what he used to do is he used to buy shopping centers, renovate them, and then, you know, resell them and things like that. And I remember one time we were having a conversation, and he said to me, he said, Sensei, which, you know, is what you call your instructor when you're a student. He said, if you love what you do, you will never work a day in your life.
Nice.
And that kind of stuck with me because I love the martial arts, and the reason why I love it is, like you said, you're empowering people. You know, when you see a 5-year-old kid pick up his leg the first time and he falls on his face, and then 3 months down the line, you see this kid pick his leg up and kick straight up in the air without falling. You're like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is powerful.
So it just gives you that feeling, knowing that it's not that you made this kid the way he is, no, but you brought out the best out of this kid. You know, that way you show him, hey, you know what? This is what you can do in life also.
You're right.
As long as you're willing to work, because nothing's going to be given to you.
You're right.
Yeah.
Hey, Reggie, talking about that, what is your personal, karate move, the one that you are like an expert on?
Is there one, or there's many probably?
Well, actually, the one that I'm really famous for is even we went to California, Mr. Ed Parker. He's like, I've got a devastating axe kick. So I had to say that's probably one of my favorite techniques, and also jump spinning hook kick.
Yeah, the reason I ask you about, because when you spare next time with my dear friend here, Dan Vega,
I don't know about that.
I want to see that move.
No, I don't want to see that move,
I want to see that move on my partner, see how he's going to react.
No, thank you. I'll pass.
You're going to pass? Why? Hey.
What'd you do that he's throwing you under the fire?
I'm telling you, man. Good God, dude.
Hey, Reggie, we talk about the show, about these power
I
moves.
think he's looking for a new co-host. He's looking for a new. You got your eye on somebody else?
I'm not. I'm playing with you.
Well, let me ask you a question. You mentioned Ed Parker. Didn't he used to do those events in Long Beach, those big arena events?
Yes, it was Ed Parker at Long Beach International.
I used to go to those events as a kid. A lot of my friends, like I mentioned, were in certain either Kempo or other type things. And we would go to that in Long Beach. We were probably 11, 12, 13 years old. Those were amazing. And there were some bad dudes that would show up. I remember, I think, Chuck Norris, or they'd have all these other people that once in a while would make an appearance.
It's funny you say Mr. Norris, because that's one of my instructors.
Oh, man.
I trained Mr. Norris.
Wow. Unbelievable.
Wow.
The funny about it, mentioning Long Beach International, the 22nd Long Beach International, I was the only one to actually win from Florida.
Oh, wow.
So that's wow. That's even makes it even more exciting.
Wow. And, David Lee Roth was there that day too. You know the famous song that he had, "Jump."
Oh yeah.
Wow.
So when he was there, I think he performed that song, and everybody got stoked with that song because it has a good beat to it.
Yep.
But I tell you, that was a highlight of my career when I was at Ed Parker.
Unbelievable. Yeah, he was. He was quite the guy.
Yeah.
Isn't that where I know Bruce Lee at one time was trying to, talk about his style of fighting, and I think he went and He competed in some of those events, didn't he, with Ed Parker?
Well, that's where he got his start, was at Mr. Ed Parker's Long Beach International.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mr. Lee didn't actually compete, but when he was there, he did an exhibition.
Yeah.
At Mr. Parker's Long Beach International. Wow. And speaking of, I'll tell you what, people say, hey, would you ever want to get beat up by anybody? Let me tell you something. Bruce Lee is a guy, I would sit there and let him kick me in the head just to be able to say I got kicked by Bruce Lee.
Nice.
Wow.
See, I'm a huge boxing fan, but I don't think I'd ever say I would get in the ring with Mike Tyson and let him pummel me just so I can say that.
No, Mike Tyson.
You're a better man than me, man.
Wait a second. I said I was a karate enthusiast. I didn't say I was stupid, man.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No. Go ahead and tell Mike Tyson, I'll fight you. No, that's okay.
Yeah. When you fight Mike Tyson, some people like me, we're only gonna last like a few seconds.
You just wake up in the hospital somewhere.
Yeah. I just get.
He might bite your ear off.
That's the thing.
Yeah. I just get the Motrin first, and then I'll fight him. How about
that?
That will let him feel anything. That's a good trick. That's a good trick. I never thought about that before, but that's what I do.
Yeah.
So Reggie, walk me through a typical day in the life of Reggie Toussaint. Walk me through kind of your daily routine and kind of what you do.
Okay, now or before when I was competing?
Let's do the before when you were competing. Give me that day first.
Okay, when I would compete, I'd be up at about 6 o'clock in the morning. this is when I lived in Miami.
Mhm.
I'd be up about 6 o'clock in the morning, and I'd be at the beach running about 8 miles.
Wow.
Then after that, I'd go to the gym, and I'd train weights for about 2 hours. Then after that, I would go to the karate school, and I would stretch for about 45 minutes. Then I would spar for about another 2 hours.
Wow. Hey, you didn't say anything about Wheaties. When you gonna have time to get some Wheaties, man? You gotta eat some Wheaties.
Well, I was on a very strict diet. You know?
Okay.
Man.
What did you eat back then? I mean, seriously, what did you eat?
What
Like-
kind of calories would you have to take in?
All I would eat would be protein.
Protein?
You know, carbs and protein.
Mhm.
Carbs and protein. You know, I would drink a lot of water.
Uh-huh.
I would eat, instead of, remember the Rocky movies?
Yeah.
You know, where he would take the eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would put the eggs, you know, mix them up and put some yeast in there just so you'd be able to, you know, blow up a little bit and just guzzle it down.
Wow.
And I would have to eat like 8 meals every day just to keep up the carbs so I don't lose a lot of weight.
Yeah. Did they have Gatorade back then?
Of course.
They did?
No. That was the 90s.
Yeah, that was the 90s, yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think they had Gatorade back then.
They had
'cause
Kool-Aid.
I didn't take
Kool-Aid.
No, I didn't. No, I was very much against Gatorade.
Yeah.
It was more, I want everything to be natural. You know, it was water juices.
That's good.
And what about a day now? Like, what's your routine now?
Well, what I do is I get up about 6 o'clock. Well, actually, my beautiful wife wakes me up at about 6 o'clock in the morning because she has to be at work. And once I get up, it's hard for me to go back to sleep.
Yep.
So what I'll do is I'll do my paperwork that I had to do. Then I'll come to the gym, and I'll stretch a little bit, hit the bags a little bit, you know, go wait for my wife to go eat lunch. Then we'll go eat lunch, and I come back and I get prepared to start my classes.
Now, let me tell you,
Nice.
I seen your dojo. I paid him a visit about a month ago. I went to see his dojo. And when I opened the door, he can tell you, you can see my reaction. I was like, wow.
Really?
Yeah, I was like in shock.
Dude, I want to go down there.
Oh, well, I'm going to take you there.
I
man.
wish you would.
I want to
wish
come
you
check
would.
that out. We'll bring
Yeah.
some cameras too.
Yeah. I mean, it's very nice. I mean, you feel, the moment you enter, you feel like peace and tranquility.
Really?
You know, yeah. It's got this
yeah.
big gate, Japanese gate, right? I mean, it looks. I mean, it's very, very nice. Then he got a gym in there too, and then in the back, that's where everybody practice. You know, we got the mats. I mean, it's
About how
very
many
nice
classes
place.
do you teach per day?
Well, you know what, Mr. Angel? When
Yes.
I remember when I was training, the one thing that I could not like in our gym is every time you walk in, it smelled like dirty feet.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you're
stunk.
right. Oh yeah, you're right.
And so when I swore that the day that I have a gym, it will never look like a gym, and it will not smell like sweaty, dirty, nasty feet.
Yeah, nice.
So that's why I try. If you notice when you walk through the door, everybody thinks like, this is a karate school? Because we set it up like an office, you know, like a
Yes.
doctor's office.
Wow.
I tell you what.
You're like, I'm just here to meditate.
Yeah, and it's like I told you, it was very nice, man. But we're gonna go there. We're gonna go pay you a visit, and we also gotta go other places in that area that we gotta go.
You know, not far from you in Crestview, have you ever been to that Bamboo Inn, the sushi place?
No, but I've heard about it.
Yeah,
I heard it's
a friend of mine
pretty
owns that. And so we'll come up, we'll go to the gym, and then we'll go have some
Wow.
sushi, man.
Yeah,
Okay, that'd be great.
yeah, it's
That'd
healthy.
be awesome.
It's healthy.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Reggie. Let me see. Let me ask you a quick question here. I was looking at some of your bio here, and I know you already told us about a good mentorship. From
You mentioned Bruce Lee.
yeah, you mentioned Bruce Lee, but is it any other person in your life? When you were early and growing up, that you were like, man, I want to be like that person, or that person
Kind of modeled after.
in some way or another was like a guide to your future, somebody that you look up to, and
Yeah.
and they maybe polish you a little bit, somebody maybe that knock you in the head and say, hey, Reggie, this is how things got to be done.
Or just maybe somebody you were inspired to become like.
Mhm.
Actually, there's two people.
Uh-huh.
Okay, the first one was Mr. Chuck Norris. Okay, because that man, he is so down to earth that it's amazing. You know, 'cause, you know, you figure when somebody's that well known, they're arrogant, and you know, you can't. No, Mr. Norris, he is so down to earth. As popular as he is, you and I see the conversation we're having. You're gonna have the same conversation with him.
Wow.
Oh yes, because he's so down to earth. And then the second person that I have to say would have to be Les Goldberg.
Wow.
The gentleman I told you about. He said, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
That would be the second person because I call him the Raging Bull. And the reason why, I remember I think he was like in his 50s. He walked into my studio when I had it in Miami. And he said, I want a black belt. And I started laughing because I told him, I said, do you know what it would take you to get a black belt under me? He was like, I don't care. I want a black belt. That man trained with me until he was ready to test for his black belt. And you know what? I still talk to him today.
Wow.
He called me on my birthday. And this man has trained with me for over 6 years. Even to today, the man will never call me with my first name. He always calls me Sensei.
Wow.
He said, you will be my one and only Sensei. And he even calls me my birthday and wishes me happy birthday.
That's nice.
That's amazing. It's nice to hear that, you know, when you meet people that have some notoriety, like Chuck or whatever, and then they're still down to earth. We have our run-ins with celebrities, and most of them are super cool. But you get some that are complete egomaniacs, and it really just kills the whole. You know, they say don't meet your heroes. It's a big turnoff.
That's right.
What I have to ask this question, man. I don't even know if you have this kind of a story, but dude, you got to know. Like, you never really know who you come up on. You know, somebody's in a bar. You don't know who that person is that you might be messing with. Have you ever had some situation where a guy's messing with you, or you're in this crazy situation and you're like, oh God, you don't even know what I can do to you right now? You got to give me one juicy story like that, man. Come on.
I guarantee you.
Okay, this goes back. I mean, this was like in my prime when I was like, you know, I was like training every day and everything, and we were going to a tournament. And what happened was I had a bunch of the students with me. We were eating. I don't even know if they even have this around anymore. Remember the Bojangles chain?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I love Bojangles.
Okay. Man. So we're all sitting in Bojangles. And so two of my girl students are supposed to meet us there. So everybody's inside, and the girls are outside. And as they come outside, the students that are inside the restaurant with me said, Sensei, so-and-so's getting harassed by these guys and all this and all that. And I was like, no, they're not. And I looked, sure enough, they were being harassed. So I walk out the door. So as I walk out the door, the guys, they're like, oh, no, man, you know who that guy is? And I didn't even have to do anything. Those guys are just like, no, man, let's just get out of here. Let's just get out of here. That guy owns a karate school. Let's leave. So we didn't, I mean, you know, but the thing is, people don't understand is some of the time you don't really want to get into a fight with somebody because you know what you're capable of doing to that person.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not worth it.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
So I have a joke that I usually play on people when they're like, oh man, you're the karate guy, you're supposed to be this and then. I go, nah, you guys got me confused. That's my twin brother. I don't know any karate, man. And everybody that's with me that knows what I can do, they bust out laughing because they're like, why are you telling us that? You know what you can. I'm like, I don't even want to be bothered.
Yeah, what's the point anymore? You have nothing to prove anymore. And
exactly.
Yep.
You know, and it'd be more of a hassle because then, you know, you end up hurting somebody, then, you know, the cops are going to come and all this. And so I'm like, you know, it's not even worth it. And that's why I tell people, you know what? So I'm very particular who I teach. Like, when somebody comes in here like, oh, I just want to learn how to fight. I just want to learn how to fight. I'm like, you know what? You're in the wrong place.
Exactly.
So have you had people that you've had to ask to leave or, hey, man, I'm not going to train you because they're just out to hurt people? Have you had to experience like that?
Okay, I'll just say this. In my gym, I've kicked out 32 people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good.
Just for that reason.
Yeah.
If you want to hurt people, go somewhere else. You know, we're trying to make an impact.
one of the things that I think is really hurting the martial arts is the MMA. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of those guys, I think they have the wrong reason why they're training. You know, it's not all about how tough you are, or how many punches you can take, how many kicks. No, that's not what it's all about. You know, it's being able to just walk away.
That's right.
You know, and I look at it this way. You know, when people start saying, "Man, I'll kick your butt," I say, "You're probably right." I just walk away.
Yeah. Well, pure example of Conor McGregor, and you know,
well,
guess what happened to him? So.
There's an interview that Conor McGregor does, and I kind of got respect for him a little bit after I saw this interview. He says, "You know what? The true meaning of the martial arts is lost." Because a lot of these guys, you know, that fight MMA, they think it's just about hurting people and all this and that. And he said, no. Yeah. The true meaning of martial arts is go back to the traditional way. That has been lost because not many people know what it takes to be a true martial artist. And that's what I live by. You know, you have to be a true martial artist. So
I would think that a true martial artist is not only learning these skill sets to defend themselves or whatever, but they're probably learning many different life principles, success principles, probably enhancing their value system, their moral compass, how to treat others, right? Respect.
You know what? You know what is lost in society now?
What's that?
Respect, loyalty, and honor. That's the thing of the past.
Yeah.
You know, all these young kids, they want to live in entitlement. They feel that they're entitled to whatever they have. Why are you entitled to anything? You know, this country was built on hard work, you know, on people working their butts off, getting, you know, paid for what they did, but good at it. That's you know, not just saying, no, you're going to pay me because how many kids today do you know they want a job, but they don't want to work. But when it comes on Friday, they want a paycheck.
That's right.
You're absolutely right.
So you know what we try to do? We try to say, you know what? No, you're going to feel good about yourself. You're going to respect yourself. Okay? How you show that respect is about what you do. Not what you say, what you do. You know? Growing up, there's two things my dad told me. Never insult your name or your word. Those are the only two things you can live by. Your word and your name. Once you tarnish them.
What is the first advice you usually tell, you know, when you get new students? What's the first advice you tell them? When they first enter that door, you shake hands, you know, welcome to, you know.
Like a first lesson that you kind of teach.
You know, the first thing I ask them, why are you here?
What's their why? Yeah.
Why are you here? And if they answer me, I just want to learn how to fight, I tell them you're in the wrong place.
Interesting.
Good question.
You know, you mentioned loyalty, and even in business, these are big problems. You know, in business, we're always asking people, you know, we can tell you the what and even the how, but you got to know the why. Why are you going to get up every day and grind so hard and, you know, have the perseverance
and work?
And the other thing is loyalty. You know, in business, there's no loyalty. You can have a guy working for a company 30 years and cut him a year or 6 months before his retirement just to save some cash. And it's a sad place that we've wound up in. But what I love about what you're doing is you're really affecting long-term positive change. And it's not just, you know, you might deal with a kid and you might have an interaction with them for 6 months or a couple of years or whatever, but you don't really know how far that goes. You know, this now turns into an adult. He raises his own family. But he's learned these values and principles from that time he spent with you in the dojo. And then he's now teaching these things to his children that maybe he never got at home. And it just spreads, man. It's really, really amazing.
Lasting effect.
You know what? I used to think, you know what, I don't make a difference. You know, these people, they're just going to learn, keep punching them, and that's it. And my whole attitude changed one day when I was looking at something, and on the internet, I saw a quote that a man wrote, and it was about me. And the quote was, you know what? I thank Reggie Toussaint for all the hard work, the push-ups, the sit-ups that he made us do, because it has carried me through my life.
Wow.
It has made me better in business, and I teach those same values to my son.
That's
today.
powerful. That's very powerful.
Well, and when you read those kind of testimonials, that's why we do what we do, right? When you read that kind of stuff, it's payment in full. You know, we get paid for what we do, but at the same time, that's really what it's all about.
Oh yeah, you know, it's not. And the sad thing about it was, I used to feel like, you know what, I train these kids, you know, I probably don't make an impact on these kids' life or anything like that. And when I read that little caption,
yep,
it changed quick.
My eyes just teared up, because I was like, you know, there's this little voice on my shoulder that says, you know what, you do make a difference.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
And every day, like, sometimes I see these kids, and but you know what though? Just to get off the subject real quick, it's not these kids that we need to train. You know who we need to train?
The parents.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's who needs to be trained.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
These kids are only doing what their parents are allowing them to do.
That's right. And you mentioned something interesting to me. You know, you talked about a low self-image and a low self-worth. You know, in business, there's a saying that self-worth equals net worth. So when you have a really high self-worth, then obviously you're going to have much higher net worth. But when you have that very low self-image, you know, guess what else is low? It's not only your income, but you're going to have very low relationships, low love in your relationships, low, you know, everything is much lower. So the fact that you're helping people find that esteem alone is going to help them in their personal life. It's going to help them, you know, what the things that they're carrying on to their families, and even in their business, that self-esteem is going to carry over to a much higher, you know, net worth as well. So.
Wow, yeah, that, believe it or not, what you just said is just a powerful statement. You have no idea.
Yeah, well, I'm sold, man. I want to come down and check out the dojo. We'll come take you. We'll grab some sushi
go over there.
after.
That's right. We'll get sushi and we'll have a great time. Well, we're getting ready to go to commercials.
Yeah, we're going to do one more break. We come back, Reggie. We're going to get into what we call the lightning round, where, what is it called, Angel? You say it better than me.
Conexión rápida.
Conexión rápida.
You got it.
And we're going to ask some very quick questions just to let our viewers get to know you a little bit more on a personal level. So stick with us. We'll be right back. More with Reggie Toussaint in a second. Don't go anywhere.
All right, welcome back again to the Spanglish Business Show. Angel Pomales here, and Mr. Dan Vega, and we have our special guest, Mr. Reggie Toussaint.
Reggie Toussaint, I'm a fan, dude. I'm such a fan of this guy.
Yeah, man, he's amazing.
Work with Chuck Norris and all these great people. You know, hey, Reggie, I have to ask you, have you ever seen that list of sayings about Chuck Norris? Like when Chuck Norris when he does push-ups,
that's hilarious.
He moves the earth or whatever. Oh my God, that's so funny.
Wow.
That is unbelievable.
To this day, very cool guy, man.
No, he is. Seriously, he's a very, well, you heard of his Kick Drugs Out of America campaign, haven't you?
A little bit. I'm not real familiar, but I know that he's doing a lot.
Well, what they did was the city of Austin, Texas, what happened was he wanted to start this program, Kick Drugs Out of America campaign. Well, what they said, well, we can't, you know how political everything is. So they're like, no, we can't endorse this, we can't endorse that. So they said, well, you know what, we'll go give you a group of kids. If you can make a change in these kids, then we'll endorse your program. Well, I'm not going to tell you what kind of kids they gave them.
Oh, I'm sure.
But, yeah.
The dirty dozen.
Oh, my God.
He
changed the whole thing around.
Wow.
And I'll tell you what. And you know what? And that's the kind of thing I want to do in Crestview.
Yeah.
You know, I want to make a difference in these kids' lives, because I tell you, these kids had bigger problems than when I was growing up.
Yeah, sure.
You know, some of the stuff that's going around now. Oh my God!
Oh man, I have an 11-year-old, and some of the things that are going on in his school now is what I was dealing with, in high school. And it's like, what is happening to the world, man?
Oh my!
I know.
It's like a telenovela, you know.
What?
Gee, I know. You're like, man, what is going on?
Yeah,
these kids, these elementary kids are coming in and telling you things that you're like, huh?
Yeah.
I didn't know about that stuff until I was in high school.
That's crazy. But guess what? The best part of the show is coming right now.
Okay.
And it's,
let's do it.
I got some lightning rounds questions for you. And we do this so we'll have the audience know you better on a personal level.
Yeah, connect with you on a personal level.
That's right.
It sounds like I'm going to be in trouble here.
You could be.
You're going to be. You should be good. You should be good. All right, here we go. You ready? All right, here we go. If you were not in the business that you are in now, what career would you pursue?
Probably a modeling career.
Nice.
You say modeling?
Modeling.
Yes.
Modeling?
The modeling career.
Really? Why is that?
That's the self-image, man.
Self-image? Self-image?
No, actually, I've done a couple of movies, and I used to model, and that's how I got into the movie industry.
Oh, wow.
As a matter of fact, if you get the movie The Champ...
Dude, I love that movie, The Champ.
Yeah. Were you there?
Yes, I'm in that movie.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
we gotta go back and replay that.
Dude,
movie.
I love that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Who was the main blonde actor in that?
Which one?
The main actor in The Champ.
That was Faye Dunaway.
Yeah, Faye Dunaway.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
It was Ricky Schroeder.
Ricky Schroeder, Faye Dunaway.
I'm gonna watch it tonight, Reggie.
We're gonna check that out.
All right. Okay. Second question here: is there a field or job that you could never, ever, ever see yourself in?
Oh wow. You know what? I have to say, hey, if the bills need to be paid and the kids need to be taken care of, you have to do whatever job you have.
That's right.
You gotta do what you gotta do, right?
You have to do what you have to do.
Yeah.
What's the worst job? Have you ever had a temporary, you talk about like Stallone, he was working at a zoo, cleaning out lion crap. Have you ever had to take one of those jobs in the early days that you didn't like?
Yes. I used to work, you know what a groom is at a racetrack, right?
Yeah.
I was a groom.
Nice.
Wow.
Wow.
I worked at a chicken factory for 3 months.
I used to take the feathers out of the chicken.
You did not.
We had a big market, man. Everybody worked. In my family, everybody worked. It don't matter how old young
you don't work, you don't eat.
You don't work, you don't eat. That's right. Okay. Hey,
have you ever taken horse poop to where they had all the horse poop and you have to dump it in there and you're like, oh my God, ready to throw up?
No,
not
I did
since
cow
Tuesday.
Poop. I did
I
cow
don't
poop.
think so.
Well, cow poop and horse poop's about the same thing.
About the same thing, but cow is worse. It looks like a cake on,
Okay.
soft cake.
I believe it.
My partner here, he's vegan. He's like, oh, man.
This isn't for me. What's the next question?
All right. Hey, when you're leaving the farm, you go you get down in there, you go straight and you tell the truth. You tell it like it is.
Okay.
All right, my buddy. Here we go. Numero tres question. How you say three in French? You know how to say three in French, Reggie?
Trois.
Trois. Okay, here we go. Trois. All right. Number trois. It's okay. I know that you train and a lot of sports people, like myself, they get a music that they get in the zone, right before you train or while you train. Sometimes, even while you train. What is that music that inspires you to get
you in the zone, get you focused.
In the zone. Yeah, to get there.
You're probably gonna freak when I tell you this.
If you say Celine Dion, dude, I am out of here.
Celine Dion.
No.
Okay.
Classical music.
Really?
Classical. That's pretty good. Yeah.
Yes.
That makes sense though. You're in a gym all day with a lot of testosterone. You got to probably, defrag a little bit and kind of empty your cup a little bit, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, well, that's good. I mean, at least get you in the zone.
What about your favorite guilty pleasure?
My guilty pleasure?
Yep. That we can talk about.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Come on, man.
My wife can kill me when she hears this.
We'll edit that part. We'll have an uncut person for you. What is it?
Yeah, right, sure. Angel's on the other side. I know better.
What is it?
Tying my wife up in the bed, taking all the clothes off, and making love to her.
Ooh,
whoa!
Wow, that's the hardest answer we ever had in the show.
I'm sweating.
Yeah, hey,
Not what I thought you were gonna say, but I love it. Okay.
Let me eat some flaming Cheetos here. Hold on.
Okay, and how about for beer? Are you? What about celebrity crush?
Celebrity crush?
Uh-huh.
Whoa. Let me see here. Halle Berry.
Halle Berry.
I get that. I get that.
Yeah, I like Halle
Okay,
Berry.
perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, the next one. Corona or Tecate? If you
I
were...
don't like either one. I don't like either one of them, but I'll have to say, why don't you say Casablanca, man?
Oh, we'll
Okay.
put it in there.
Yeah, or Carta Blanca.
Okay.
Casablanca.
Oh, thank you. Yeah,
I dig that.
Carta Blanca. I like Carta Blanca.
And what about car, man?
Yeah.
Are you a luxury car or a low rider?
A luxury car.
Yeah.
No, right.
But was there a day? See, we're a little. I'm at that point now. I want the luxuries. But was there a day where you were kind of had the fuzzy dice and you were kind of bouncing a little bit?
Not really. To me, I just look at lowriders as a punk car.
I was thinking of Angel when I was saying that. Dude, you know you had some dice. You know you had the little fuzzy dice.
It's top secret.
Okay.
No, see, you should have put Volkswagen in there.
Okay.
I know, Volkswagen.
Yeah. You probably had that
man,
horn. Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, I had fun in a Volkswagen.
This guy is he's a man's man. This is a karate world champion, you can tell.
I don't know who's harder, the Flaming Cheetos or Reggie here right this time.
You don't need any of these Cheetos, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think the soft sushi for him will be fine. Just rice, just the rice and the algae on it.
What about menudo or chicken noodle?
Menudo or chicken noodle? Chicken noodle.
What?
Chicken noodle? Oh, I know.
Dude.
You want that gorgeous spicy on
Well, he
the
doesn't
chicken.
like the spicy. That's
No,
what
about
he
the
said.
spice. The gorgeous spice.
Okay.
Well, my English is kind of messed up. But anyway, how do you say species or spice?
Spice.
Spice. Well,
Did you
the
say
gorgeous.
species?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking
The noodles with the species in it.
It must be the margarita or something. I don't know.
I think you're drunk, man.
Yeah.
He probably is.
I haven't eaten much. I had a burrito earlier in the day, but that was it.
Okay.
And then I didn't have my Wheaties, so that messed me up. All right. The next one, if there's a gigantic or gigante goal that you're planning in the near future.
Yes. I will have a 10,000 square foot gym where I can train professional fighters.
Yeah. Awesome.
Nice.
I think that's possible.
Yeah.
Nice.
He didn't say it's a goal. He says, I will have.
Oh, okay.
You get that?
Yeah. Well,
So
I'm going there.
This guy's past goal.
I want to check it out, man.
Okay.
I want to practice. I'm going to practice.
Very good. And listen,
All right.
for the last question. So look, man, we've had a obviously white president. We've had African American president, entrepreneur president. If we ever had a Latino man in office, what do you think the first 3 executive decisions would be?
Well, I think the first one is they need to get their head out of their butt.
Yeah. We haven't. I won't even comment on current politics, but it's a source of stress for many, I know.
Yeah.
You know what it is? You know what I think their first order is quit blaming everybody.
Take the responsibility, man.
Yeah. Take rest.
I will say that I'm not just saying it's the Latino culture, but one thing about the Latino culture, you screw up, you just own it, man. Okay, man, I'm sorry, I did this.
I did it.
You don't try to blame, shift blame, right?
I did it. I screwed up. I messed up. Yeah.
Don't pass the buck. I dig that one.
I like that. I like that.
What else? 2 more.
Let's see. The next thing, I think we should the next executive decision should be, let's concentrate on family values.
Family values, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Forget separating people and building walls. Let's start bringing people together instead of pushing them apart.
You know what? Oh my God. I think worry about the immediate problem. Stop worrying about what ifs.
Yeah, that's right.
Take care of the immediate problem.
Yep.
Okay? And everybody is like, they're worried about what's going to happen, Well, what about right now? Take care of what's going on right now.
That's right.
Forget about what's going to happen.
You know, it gets over watching the news all the time. This and this and that and this investigation and that stuff. Let's talk, like you said, let's talk about now. What's the future?
Yeah.
Let's talk about now. Let's solve it right now. Let's talk about the future. Let's take care of our children. Because eventually our children are going to be the future of our country.
Yeah.
You know what really upsets me is animals have more rights than humans.
Nowadays, yeah, you're right.
You know, you know what? This was really what irks me. You have this new law about these service animals. Okay? Let me ask you this. How did people get along 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Without service animals. Now all of a sudden, I do not want to go in a restaurant and have some dog sitting there shaking all over and getting their hair all in my food.
Yeah.
Okay? You know, if somebody's really in need of that, fine. They're in need, but don't. Why do people keep pushing the envelope?
Well, and forget the dog. It's like people are getting on planes with service peacocks and pythons. It's like, come on, man. Where does it? I get that there's a need, but a peacock. How is this going to help you?
I tell you what, they better pray. Those dogs, one never bites me.
Yeah.
Or tries to bite me.
I can't believe they want to bring. I can't believe they want to bring a peacock.
That's just going overboard. You know, it's like the handicap parking. You see a guy with a handicap sticker parks in a handicap zone, gets out and runs to where he's going. You're handicapped?
Yep.
You're right.
Come on. Let's just take care of the immediate problem.
That's right.
You know, and stop passing the buck, and let's bring back the family values. I think those are the three things that should be in order.
That's right.
I'm with you on that, 100%.
And Reggie, before we let you go, I want to ask you, you know, for our viewers right now that are watching and they feel inspired and they say, you know, this is a guy that's really making a difference, or this is a guy that's really followed his passion. He's not just working something because he feels like he has to. He's followed his passion and he's made it not only a living, but a way to impact a lot of people. And maybe I'm ready to do the same. Any kind of parting words or word of advice for our viewers?
Well, you know, what I would say is follow your heart. You know, if you enjoy doing it, don't let anybody tell you can't do it, because that word in my vocabulary does not exist.
Yep.
As far as I'm concerned, if you're going to let somebody tell you how to control, you know, destiny does not control us. We control our destiny. And that's how I think people should live their life.
That's right. That's right.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, and you know, I remember when I was like 17, I said, "Mom, I'm going to be a professional fisherman, and I'm going to have my." And I was studying, I was buying all the gear, I was getting really good too. And she's like, "Come on, no one's ever going to pay you to fish. Get at it." And she kind of squashed my dreams, and to this day, I'm like, "What if?" I could have been the next Jimmy Houston.
He could be the next Delia's cash captain.
Yeah, it traumatized me so badly. I'm vegan now.
Oh my! My goodness.
But that's really great advice, Reggie. And you know, there's a lot of people out there that are doing some really cool things, but you're one of the guys that's really making a difference. You're impacting a lot of people.
That's right.
I think that's just going to spread, and it's really cool to talk to somebody that not only has achieved the level of success that you've had, but is really paying it forward and helping others acquire, you know, more success, not only in their business or their, you know, value system, but even things that they can help them immediately right now in their home life, whatever that may be. So it's important what you're doing. We can't wait to get up there and check out the dojo.
That's right.
And even for our viewers, if you have any great stories about things that you've done, or if you feel inspired about Reggie's story, make sure to hit us up at info@SpanglishBusinessShow.com or find us on Facebook, Twitter.
That's right.
And go find Reggie Toussaint as well. Follow him. You have to check out his stuff.
Yeah, that's right. Hey,
we're going to be up there very, very soon.
Yeah. Hey, Reggie, what will be the best way to contact you?
Yeah, if somebody wanted to come check out your gym or whatever, is there a best website or email that they can go to?
What they would do, we're located at 702 East James Lee Boulevard in Crestview, Florida.
Nice.
Okay.
Or they can get on our Facebook, USA Karate.
USA Karate, Facebook.
USA Karate Academy. And, they can feel free to stop by. If they want to call, set up an appointment, our phone number is 850-398-8910.
Okay.
We answer the phone anytime somebody call. And we can set up an appointment for him.
Awesome, man.
That's great.
We'll post that as well.
That's right.
Thank you so much for being on the show, Reggie. It's been a pleasure getting to know you.
Thank you.
I look forward to please come back on the show, would you?
Oh, definitely will, sir. Definitely.
All right. We're gonna catch back up with you in Crestview, do a follow up.
That's right. Thank you, Reggie. I want to thank you personally, Reggie. Thank you. You are an admiration, and a lot of people look up to you. And thank you for being on the show.
Yeah, keep doing it.
I appreciate it.
Angel, as always, my friend.
Absolutely.
Awesome connecting with you again.
Thank you.
That's our show. That we're out of time. Don't forget to get involved in your local community. Be forgiving of others. Thank you to Reggie, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, everyone. See you next show.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye bye.